It's 2 o'clock on Thursday, and you're right where you need to be. That must mean it's time for Gun Stuff TV. Today's show, you getting sassy again? Welcome back to Gun Stuff, and we're here again. It's Thursday. I've got my erstwhile companion, Scott. It's always great to have you on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Scott Kiefner is the one that has the brains. He's the brains behind this outfit.
No.
And we've had lots of fun together, and we've got some fun things for you guys today. Well, our sponsor today is Faxon Firearms, and you've been hearing a lot about faxing. Go to our website to learn more about Faxon Firearms. It's a brand new weapon made here locally, right in the Cincinnati area. So, this is the only show where we pay you to watch it. Now, you guys haven't figured this out yet. You need to figure it out. But you're going to get free stuff by watching this show. Now, what is required? All you got to do, now, we don't know you're watching it, right? I mean, you're watching it now, or it could be in 5 minutes, or maybe even tonight, or tomorrow when somebody shares it. But as long as you comment on it, give us some keystrokes, put your name on, say, hey, cool, or hey, you guys screwed up one more time. At least I did. I'm tired of watching that, but we don't care what you say. Put something in there. Share it with your friends even. Anything like that, you're going to win some free stuff. Now, last week, I think we were talking about Muñoz self-defense, weren't we?
We sure were, yep.
And that Muñoz, that is some pretty cool stuff. Show our viewers what we got.
So the keychain self-defense tool, which is thin plastic, easy to conceal, easy to carry anywhere you want, and nobody's going to be taken away from you if they want you to go into an unarmed area or something where you can't carry a weapon or a knife. So,
well, you could carry something. You could actually have your, P365 stowed away. It could be in a purse or a concealed carry. But you're going out to the car, somebody gets behind you, and they come up from you behind, and you've got one of these things. You can protect yourself, can't you? I mean, you can see, man. You jab this here, get a close up on this here. We'll try it right on Scott. Scott, put your arm right here.
Nope, not falling for that one.
Yeah. It hurts like crazy, and it's a great look. No one really knows it's a self-defense tool.
Yeah, you never have to be unarmed. You always have some way to defend yourself, and that's really, everyone just wants safety. So, we go through all these different ways to do it, and this is just another tool that we can use to stay safe.
Now, last week, there were some folks that watched it, some very astute, bright people. They're the type of people that are watching the show. And two of them won this right here, and their names, Jeff Davis and Robert Mack. They won these. Now, we just emailed you guys. Send us back your address, and we're going to get it right out to you. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, hey, good job, Jeff. Thanks you.
I've never watched television and won free stuff. Now, you're probably wondering, in fact, this is the thing they ask. They say, so many people are watching this. I know you can't give them all out. Well, believe us, we're going to give them all out.
All right.
And we'll be giving them out. Now, this week's email blast, and we drive a lot of our traffic based on the email. It starts with the Ruger 2002. That's the number that's the weapon number, the item number. The Wrangler 22. Now, Scott, we got one up here, and tell our viewers a little bit about this. Now, by the way, this gun, we're just growing our brand here, but this one has had 190 views of the video that you did on it.
Yeah.
190 views here in just the last couple hours.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't realize that. But this is, I can totally understand why. This is like an American classic. I mean, anybody, growing up seeing anything in a Wild West movie or anything like that. But the cool thing about it is that she's 22, so you can sit there and you can plink with this thing all day. But we had so much fun shooting this on the range, we just didn't want to put it down. We kept plinking and plinking and plinking, and maybe there's a faster way to load it, but you have to load it through the gate and stuff like that, but that's the way they're supposed to be. This is the way these old guns are. It's the nostalgia that comes with it. But we had so much fun with this. But this is just a modern take on it. So it has a Cerakote finish on it, all your stainless bead blasted parts, and then it has the polymer grips on it. So this thing's going to be durable, and it's going to last a very long time. So this is going to be something that you can use as a rough use gun, or you can just leave it in your safe and keep it looking brand new. But it's going to be able to take a lot of abuse because of the way it's built.
Now, Scott, this comes in several finishes. This is the black, all black, and very, very popular. The bronze, we've sold some of those. I think we even have maybe 1 or 2 bronze on order. I mean, we got a lot on order, but getting them in here is another thing. These are very hard to get, folks. Really, really, really tough to get. And then this is the black one. So these are actually available right now on the website, and it's a very reasonable price. It's $199.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
For $199, you can have a heck of a lot of fun. Now, show us again here, Scott. You were showing us. So when you shoot, how do you put the rounds in there?
So it side loads like this, and then you'll take and you'll push this back. It has the safety block in here right now, so I have to pop that out.
But it has like a little lever right
when
here.
When you remove this safety here, when you get the gun and you unpackage it, yeah, this lever here. So you'll just you turn it up, and then you slide this lever down, and that pushes the. I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn the camera here. That pushes the. This lever down and pushes this casing out the back here, and then you slide the next case in, rotate it, next case, So there's this is one of the guns that this is the reason that you used to see cowboys carry multiple guns. They'd have one on each hip because it was faster to carry another gun than it was to do a reload with something like this, or of course all your old black powder guns and stuff like that. But this is one of the ones that led to that.
Well, it's so hard to find these. They are very extremely popular. Now, you can find some on a gun shelf in a store every once in a while, but if they land on that shelf at 1 o'clock, they're probably going to be gone by 5.
Yeah,
they're that popular, and this is a perfect stocking stuffer. And by the way, a lot of these things you don't want to wait. In fact, no one should wait to Black Friday if they want to buy one of these. The price isn't going to go down. It's already rock bottom, but the availability will diminish greatly.
One of the things I think also, you look at all these, with stuff like this at $199. I mean, with Christmas and stuff, would you rather get a set of AirPods or something like that? Or would I rather have this in my stocking? To the people watching this, I think they would know with me that that's a no-brainer. But which would you rather have for a Christmas present?
Well, the thing about this, Scott, is your kids and grandkids will be using this generations from now. Ruger now knows how to make a great product. So if you're watching this, you might want to, in just a minute or two, place your order, because they're not going to be around for very long. We only got a handful, and believe me, we got a pretty good inventory compared to most. So it's only $199. Now, we're talking a lot about self-defense. That's a big part of what we do here at Gun Stuff. Now, you can't talk about personal defense without talking about the Sig Sauer P365. Now, it was in 2018, Hannah Bilodeau. We were out there at SHOT Show introducing this to the world, and frankly, it blew my mind. It's 10 rounds in the palm of your hand, isn't there? Now, there's a way to extend that, but tell our folks, I'll get this here for you. So this is the original, and it's very popular, is it not?
Yeah, this is the original 365, and as you can see as I'm holding this is a really small, compact package for you to be carrying 10 rounds. Some other manufacturers, you can order magazine extensions to get the other firearms and stuff out to 10 rounds, but this comes with it
10
built
rounds
into the gun.
It's secret sauce, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's not quite a double stack.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a 1.5 secret sauce.
I know they kind of splitting the difference on a double stack, between a single and a double.
That keeps it nice and compact, good for concealed.
Absolutely, and it still makes it small enough that you're still fitting 10 rounds, and you still need the pinky extension that I'm showing here down on the bottom. Even with the 10 rounds in it, you still need the pinky extension because it's still small. You don't have to have it. If you have smaller hands, of course, you can go without it, or if you want a small visual footprint.
So that's this one right here. This is the flat plate.
Yep.
In fact, where do I hold it, Mr. Producer? Up here? Does that help? You can see it there. That's the flat plate, and here is the pinky extender, and it makes it a lot easier for gripping. But both of these are 10 rounds.
Yes.
And if you want to go just a little bit more, I'm going to bring it up here for our camera. You can get, let me get this one out. You can get the 12 round. Now, it doesn't add that much more, and it's surprising. In fact, here is the pinky extender. and then that's the 12 rounds. So it's not really that much bigger.
That's surprising that you get 2 more rounds just out of that little bit out of that magazine extension, but I mean, you do.
You do,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier to hold. Now, that's always good. And it depends, but I think, Scott, now you're the expert, okay? When you say if you get a better grip, you can get a better shot, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So in this case, you get a better grip. It's still very concealable, and it's still very concealable, and you can see it there, but you're going to be more accurate, right?
Yeah, and also with the 12-round mag, I mean, you still got the one in the chamber too. So I mean, you got 13 rounds.
13 rounds.
You got 13 rounds on tap, and I mean that's not even legal in some states. You know, so just to put that in perspective, but in such a small package, you know, it's a great defensive tool.
Now, what we going back, if you go look at our pricing on this, it is only $499.99. Now that's a great price, and that's the one that you're holding.
Yep.
That's the original, and well worth every penny. Now, what if your sights were like this? Now that's an incredible picture, a little close up, to see what happened to the sights there. They're gone, and all of a sudden they're replaced by a green dot that's snug in there. Now that is called the SIG anti-snag, the SAS, and that's what we've got right here. And what the secret is you can see now, if we put that right next to here, you'll see that this has the sights up here, which is good, but this has no sights, and it's very, very smooth. We talked about this last week. See how smooth it is on the side here?
You want me to put it down in the?
Yeah. Put it down in here. We'll get it.
Sorry.
So the idea of that is it is a SIG anti-snag, so it's very, very smooth, and it has. Since it doesn't have the sights, that's one less thing to get hung up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So sights, you got different types, and so many different people. You know, someone could buy these. These are a very good set of sights on this 365 that come on the 365. But you could, I know plenty of people, myself included, that I buy a gun, and sometimes the very first thing I do is buy a different set of sights and change them out. So he's getting a close-up shot on here now. So you got this one has a really big green dot on here for fast target acquisition, but it also has the tritium vial on the inside. It has the tritium in the rear. So some people like those style of sights. Some people like a plain black sight. So it's one of the things that some people just want to change immediately. But then sights can also be used as tools for like raking and things like that when you're trying to do one-handed firearms manipulations, things like that. But this gun here, the 365, is made for ultimate concealability and for it to not get snagged on anything. If you're going for pocket holsters, deep cover, things like that, the ankle holsters, and you don't want to run the chance of having to get that gun out of deep cover and catching a snag or taking the gun out of battery or anything like that, getting caught on clothes because you're in such, in a deep cover type situation under layers of clothes, things like that, then this is not going to get caught. And it's a really awesome rear sight setup that they have. It has the filament in the top, and then in the top of that collects the light, and then it projects it through the lens into the back, as you can see in the other the rear sight picture that you showed just a second ago.
Now Scott, I'm going to show people here, if you can come in on that, you can see it actually lighting up there on camera.
Put it on the other camera.
You
Here.
want me,
This one?
yeah,
Yeah, here, I'll do it.
put it on that camera. There we go.
Okay, so
Oh, wow, look at it light up. Now, as a person with presbyopia, now you don't know what it is.
oh, I am.
You're going the wrong
backwards.
direction.
Oh, this is so difficult. I'm being difficult. Ah. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
There we go.
You're getting close. There we are. All right.
I'm all off to the side of the camera, but you can see how that flashes as I bring it up there. You can see how it flashes. So you can turn it a little bit, and
It's gone.
Yep.
And there's actually a ring and a dot. And then you line that up in there, and that helps you get it on target. Now, I have problems. In fact, if you go back to our slide there on the PowerPoint, you'll see that doesn't look much different than what Scott is doing, except it's a photo. And now we'll go back to Scott, and you'll see there it is in real life. So this is not just advertising. This is the real deal, and I like it.
This is kind of like trying to be Annie Oakley and shooting over a mirror over your shoulder. You
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
mirror out here. You're trying to look down the sights and shoot a balloon back there.
I'm surprised they don't.
That's kind of what
Don't
like
they
I'm
do
trying
that
to do right
in
now.
Air Marshal Service?
Yeah, it was part of the qualification,
Yeah,
but then they
but
quickly
you-
got rid of it because
You had some problems with
Yeah.
that, I can tell right
we
now.
shot some lights out.
But yeah, I like it because if I take my glasses off with the regular sights, I can't really see the sights. It's extremely difficult because my eyes are so bad. But with that thing lights up and it helps me out. And I've done it. In fact, I got a couple. I could show you the targets. I can get all of them on the paper with that one, and I only got about half of them on the paper with that. Speaking of accuracy, let's see what you did with it, Scott.
All right. So I took it out the range. I just went out and shot this just before we got to the show today. So we started off. We got started off at 5 yards with this. This is I shot the full 12-round magazine each time, and the sighting system on this is a little bit different, and most of you that I've shot with in the past, things like that, and we've shown other groups, you know, my skills are capable of getting some very small groups out of precision firearms, but what we're dealing with here is a very small pistol that my hand pretty much covers up the whole thing. So this is one of the things that it may take a little bit of practice, but the benefits of having one of these anti-snag sights is pretty cool once we explain it. So we're at 5 yards, then we moved back to 7 yards, 12 shots.
Yeah, you're even better at that, I think.
And then we went back to 10 yards, which is 30 feet with 12 shots. I'm trying to turn this the wrong way. I am backwards with this camera. I'm looking at it. But then, so I just went through, familiarized myself with the firearm, shot it a couple times, and then I went ahead and took my time and did a little bit of slow fire. And I'm just turning this around backwards because I was shooting at a different spot on the target, but just turning around backwards. So this was ultimately my 5 yard group, about the smallest group I printed. But this is after I got a chance to shoot a couple magazines through the gun, and I started to learn the sighting system. So on this sighting system, I'm just going to use this target here as basically a demo, and then this will be the rear dot. And basically, you have a ring, and then inside there you'll see the circle, the green circle, and it will float around in there. So if this is going too far this way, and inside that circle, that's the way the round is going to impact. So you just have to learn how to use the sight so that you're lining up the sights properly. So this would be a proper sight picture with the green inside of there. So as you're lining up this ring dot system, that would be the proper sight picture. So once I did that and I got used to it and using that sight, then I was able to turn out.
Yeah, it's just so much easier.
Yeah, but the biggest advantage that we've seen in shooting this is that people that, as you get older, your eyes age, or if you have stigmatism or something like that, when you're shooting your firearms, you're constantly going back and forth between multiple sight planes. So you're going from your rear sight to your front sight to your target, from your front sight to your rear sight, front sight, and you're going back and forth focusing on all these different sight planes to line up your shot to make an accurate shot. Well, you're going rear sight, front sight, target, and you're going back and forth, back and forth. Well, when you are using this sight here, you're focusing on one spot. You're only focusing on this one spot, which is, I know it's difficult, isn't it? Try to so you can see.
There it is, right
so you're
there.
focusing on this one. You're focusing on this one spot where the green is. I'll go ahead and take my hand off it. So you're focusing on this one spot, and essentially what it does is it gives you the same sight picture as a lot of red dots, green dots on the market. So we spend a lot of time and we spend a lot of money equipping some of our guns with red dot capable slides, having the machine and stuff like that so we can put a big red dot. Well, this essentially gives you a green dot sight without the cost of having to buy an external green dot optic or red dot. You know, this is of course this is green, doesn't come in.
And it's built in there.
It's built in there, and it's super low, and so with it being super low, it also brings the sight to bore axis down. So the sight on a red dot equipped gun, the red dot sits much higher than the actual barrel. So what you're doing is you're decreasing the distance between them, which inherently makes the gun more accurate.
So what you're saying here is normal red dots are up higher, and so your target's going to be up there. So you have a parallax that has to be accounted to, either dialed in or you have to know about it. This, you're riding right on top of the barrel, and it's great. And it does really light up. You folks have seen it here. Now, things aren't free, and this weapon here is, now, it's retail $756. It's $579.99. Now, as I recall, the other one was only $500, one penny less. So for $80, you got that thing built in there, dialed in and everything. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, and also it comes with some of the other features too, with the porting as well. So I mean.
Oh
that's
yeah,
a,
the porting. Now that is this part here. There's holes in the top of the slide, and there's also holes in the barrel. And I see that you used this just this morning.
Yeah, it still has a little bit of powder on it. So.
Now we were out yesterday, and we were doing a site. Oh, here's some more pictures. I'm going to show you some beauty shots here. You'll see these all on the website. The different sites. There it is. Now we were out at the range yesterday. Now we're going to watch. This is a little bit tricky to watch, but you can see now we had Scott shooting this because he's more of an expert shooter. All right, so we're going to watch it. Now you're going to see some muzzle rise. On the right is the regular P365. See that muzzle rise? And we had two cameras going. There's a bad camera angle. That was my fault. But and we'll go back here now. Watch. You can see with the lines there that the 365 actually does. There is more muzzle rise, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And ported guns have been around for a long time, and the fact that they put a port on this, as you can see in the video, if you go back and watch it a little bit later, you can see that the gun will snap up and it snaps right back, and that's due to in part to the porting on the 365 gun. You see me shoot, and the gun comes up. It comes up a little bit higher. Well, and when the gun comes up a little bit higher, what it's doing is it is breaking my grip on the gun. So as you can see, it's breaking my grip on the gun. So this piece of footage you see right here is me having to come back and re-grip the gun. So it snaps up, it slides inside my hand, so I have to come back, re-grip, and then represent the firearm. So that's why you see me start to pull it away on the 365. On the SAS, you can see that I'm already back on target for the next shot, and on the 365, I'm having to go back and so that's the advantage of having a compensated gun on a defensive pistol like this. Now, some of the disadvantages of having a compensated would be on those. You can see that my thumb is dangerously close to the port, so that's just my grip. So
that's his grip.
Yeah, that's my grip. That's just
my
the way
grip.
I shoot.
I go. In fact, I had somebody really good teach me this.
Oh yeah.
In fact, it was you. Said put that thumb down there a little bit lower, and it really does make a difference.
Yep.
And so that's the way I normally hold it. And since I've been shooting this way, I've been doing a lot better.
Yeah.
And I would think for someone that is perhaps a little less, a little less strength and so forth, females or weak senior citizens such as myself, they would appreciate the difference. Now, well, there is one disadvantage, and we talked about that, is if you're in a weapon situation and someone's broken into your car window and they're trying to grab you from the external, well, you go like this. You don't want to hold it like this or right in front of your face because you're going to get a little bit of taste of gunpowder. You don't want to do that, so you're going to hold it like that. But I think that's a worst case scenario. And well worth it. And in fact, I know a lot of smart TV hosts that are making this now their concealed carry weapon.
There's probably going to be a couple of them. But what he's talking about with the ported weapon, is if you get into a defensive situation, you're carrying appendix or you're carrying back here or wherever it fits in your purse, and you have to shoot close in. So my assailant is this close, and I can't come up, and I'm not going to point the gun at him. I'm going to set it down. I can't come up and shoot at full presentation because I'm too close. He can grab my gun. So I'm going to have to shoot this way. Well, one of the things with the ported weapon is that port is facing up. So what we do when we train for this is you just get used to training of just canting the gun a little bit like this, and then it diverts those gases away from you. But it's one of those things that's a training consideration. It's one of those things that you have to know that you are going to experience this, so you need to practice shooting this way, just like we talked about.
Yeah, that's in a close situation. That's kind of rare.
Yeah, it's rare, but
for most people, you're probably not going to run into that. No. And so the price of this again here is $579. So really, for $580, you're getting. Oh, you're off camera.
Oh,
again,
I'm sorry.
Scott.
I'm sorry.
We're going to take away his training wheels here.
I know. One day.
So it's a great weapon. So this is all for self-defense. Now, coming up, and this is news to everybody on the staff, we're going to get some of the options as far as holsters coming in.
Oh, awesome.
And so we'll get that in. There's lots of opportunities to get different types of carry holsters. That's what this is all about. So we'll get those in the future. So now, one last word to you, my friends, and the viewing audience, whether you're watching it live now or the thousands of you that are going to be watching it here this afternoon because our personalities are so magnetic.
Charismatic.
Charismatic for sure. Don't wait on this. A lot of gun shops are barely getting even one now. We've sold, I won't tell you how many, we've sold quite a few, and it's a really unfair amount that we've been able to sell. But we have some angels on high, I won't say who they are, and they know who they are, and thank you very much. And you're going to be thanking them by extension because you can get one of these in the palms of your hands. We sold like 2 or 3 just since last night.
Yeah.
So go out and grab them. We are taking some back orders because you're going to want to get this as soon as you can. Now, we've been talking about home defense, and now, sometimes you want a little bit more. This is the more the concealed carry.
Yep.
This is not the only avenue. Sometimes you want a little bit more, and that might be this weapon here, the Kel-Tec KS7. Now, Scott, you took this out to the range. Tell our viewing audience now, we're running out of time. We've got about 4 minutes left, but just tell us a little bit about what that thing is.
So the KS7 holds 7 rounds in the magazine here.
And what kind of rounds?
12 gauge, up to 3-inch shells.
Oh, you know what? For you, a lot of folks, you're confused. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's my fault they're so confused because you were looking for the Sleepy Joe shotgun, and that's what we've been selling this as, the Sleepy Joe
Sleepy
shotgun.
Joe.
Yeah, because remember, one of the presidential candidates, who we can't name because we might be impeached, told his wife Jill, go out in the backyard, shoot 2 shots, take your double barrel, shoot it 2 shots out in the air, and that'll scare everybody away.
Scare them all away.
This is a different approach to home defense because there's not just 2 shots, right?
No, yeah, absolutely, and you have 7 rounds on tap. But the thing is that it's in a bullpup configuration, and Kel-Tec has been making bullpups for a very long time. And this is it's a very compact setup. So instead of having they've got the kind that the model that has two magazines in here, but this one has 1, and they're doing that just to keep this into a very slim, sleek package. And there's a lot of, and one of the things I love about Kel-Tec is there's a big aftermarket following in the fact that they make all kinds of accessories. So you can, if you don't necessarily like the big rail on here or the big carry handle, then there's plenty of other places that you can get the Picatinny rail that goes all the way down, and you can put a red dot, or you can put any other type of sighting system on there if you don't like the style of it.
There is a sight on it.
Yeah.
It's
So
pretty nice. It's a fiber optics, right?
It has the sight on here, and the sight comes when you pull this up, this big fiber optic filament catches a lot of light because of how long it is. So it is extremely bright when you shoot it. And I'm not going to
like you're really going to need it, though. I mean, honestly, this look how short this is. This is my choice for a shotgun, and for a home defense, this is definitely what you want. And we got a new sponsor coming up, Acme Drywall. Because you're going to need some actual drywalling if you shoot this in your home. And this price on here. Now, this doesn't look like a great big deal, but it is. Believe me, there is not hardly an ounce of profit. Now, there's only one out at this price to get it at $429, so you better hurry. And you can find that on Gun Stuff. Now, that's our last home defense. Is a brand name that has everyone excited. It is a Uzi. Let's take a look at that, Scott. You just unfolded it.
Yep. So this is the IWI Uzi. This has multiple. You can get different stick magazines and a lot of different configurations. So you can put this in there. So this one here is a 25 round magazine, but you can get them longer, 30 rounds. And this comes with the pistol brace, which allows you a little bit more stabilization to handle this. This is just a timeless piece. I mean, this is one of the things. This
is not. It's not an automatic weapon.
No, this is not automatic.
This is not for gangbangers or for MS-13.
No, definitely not. But this is a platform that's been around for years, and so they've made a few adjustments to it. They've added some polymer pieces and improved on some of the safeties and stuff. But then the big thing here is that they've added the pistol brace on the end.
And it folds.
Yeah. So they've moved the charging handle from the top and put a Picatinny rail here, and they've changed it and put the charging charging handle on the side. So the charging handle usually goes on top, and it had a big U shape so you could see through the sights. Now the sights are a lot easier to see, but then also the standard Picatinny rail now allows you to mount any red dot optic. And because this thing has all this weight of this, it has a bigger bolt, bigger, heavier bolt, and it's blowback operated. So it has a bigger, heavier bolt in here, so it absorbs some of the recoil of the firearm. So what it allows your red dots and your optics and stuff like that to survive a little bit longer because they're not taking such a shock.
So it's a 9mm. Now here's a little something from my perspective. In the photography business, we want to have more than one point of contact with what we're shooting, because we want to keep that camera steady.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we'll get here, we'll have another point of 3 points of contact.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing when you have a firearm, because you have a point of contact here, a point of contact here, and so this gives you a little bit more stability
Yes.
than your normal 9mm. Now this isn't something you're going to want to carry away.
Yeah.
It's not a concealed carry, but fold that up there again for us and show our viewers what it looks like, and you can shove that down underneath your pickup truck seat, or underneath your bedroom.
So what this allows is it allows you to have a good defensive weapon in just about anywhere. I mean, you can fit this into your, like you said, console of the truck, under seat. This thing will fit in a lot of places. So you can have this with you where you need it.
Looks like we're out of time here, folks. I don't want to finish up. So remember, now that's another great price. There's only one at this price too. It's $1048. And if we can skip back so our viewers can see our slide, the pricing. Normally $1309, $1048. Well, that's a great price. Now, this is the time of our show that we announce our winners. And the Munyo winner. Now, if you want to get some more of these, and let's say you're going to be offline, or you can't watch the show, but you want to just get online, go to Gunstuff TV/Munyo, and you can win one of these. Just register. And this week's winner, Milton Henderson and Mary Hill. They're going out to you, and I think we've already heard back from one of them. So be sure to send that, and then also you've got to save your thumbs with the ADCO Speed Loader, the favorite of ours. And there's Scott's got one up there real close to show you. You need something like that if you're going to go out to the range. Believe me, my thumb is a little sore. Without using that, I'd be dead. And so that you can register at ADCO, gunstuff.tv/ADCO. And this week's winner is Robert Sieber. Robert, thanks for, and thank all of you folks for registering for our contest. There'll be more giveaways in the future. Thanks for watching, and remember, get your stuff at Gunstuff.
Give them the question of the day. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, the question of the day?
All right.